Hello, today we'll talk about trade wars, the impact of tariffs, and the main question: is President Trump weaponizing tariffs and will it be effective? It appears the term tariff is one of his favorite words in the English language. So, is President Trump wielding the tariff weapon willy nilly? What are President Trump's goals? What is he trying to achieve using tariff as a weapon? Is this, as Wall Street Journal calls it, the dumbest trade war in history? President Trump has used and promised to expand tariffs for three primary purposes. Number one, to raise revenues. Number two, to bring trade into balance. And three, to bring rival countries to heel, make them to do what he wants them to do, what America wants. You might call this bullying tactics. For example, with the last one, making other countries do your bidding, President Trump wants to stop fentanyl from coming across the Mexican and Canadian borders into the US. And similarly, he wants to curb or stop illegal migrants, migration that's unauthorized from both those across the two borders. So, if these countries put extra efforts into border patrols, etc., across the Mexican and Canadian borders, and similarly help stop fentanyl coming into the country, into the US, and also the migrants from coming in, if these countries do that, then will the tariffs be removed or reduced? Or are you going to keep it at a higher level to get some of the goals achieved? Because the reduction of tariffs will negatively impact the first goal of raising revenues. So let us look on the flip side. If tariffs on Mexico and Canada on aluminum, etc., are for raising revenues, then if the other countries lower the tariffs to minimum levels, then the reciprocal tariffs of USA has to be reduced too. Or will they be reduced only if the goal of C, the border control, and the fentanyls coming across the border illegally is also addressed according to President Trump's satisfaction? But wait, even if Mexico and Canada implement the lower tariffs, as well as increase the border patrols as they promised to do, will the US still enforce higher tariffs to meet the second goal of balance in trade, bringing about a certain balance in trade, force them to buy more American goods and services to make sure there is no trade imbalance of any significant size? So, how would other countries respond? Will they retaliate against the global technology companies that are based in the US? The Googles and the Microsoft of the world, will they be the targets of other countries, such as by EU? In the meanwhile, President Trump is trying to end the conflicts in Middle East and Ukraine so that he can focus on China. So, China is the other 800-pound gorilla in this scene. Wall Street Journal reports, with the domestic economy in crisis in China, President Xi Jinping is playing defense, hoping to salvage as much as possible of a global trade system that has helped pull his country out of poverty so far. Across the Pacific, President Trump is intent on rewriting that very trading system, which he and his advisors see as having benefited the rest of the world, especially China, and China most of all, at the US's expense. So, when will President Trump put an halt to this weaponizing of tariffs? Probably when he sees other countries like China and Germany unable to get the economies to grow, and they start buying less from the US. A weaker global environment will seriously dent US product sales worldwide. That can't be good for President Trump or for the US economy. So, you can't hurt the other economies and hope to benefit. You have to sell your stuff to them trade is important. It has to keep growing or at least stay stable. Some projections claim that the overall tariffs imposed on by the US will raise from 2.3% to about 13% at the end of these tariff wars. Could the average price of an SUV end up being $8,000 more than would have been otherwise due to such tariffs? The production of SUVs and cars and automobiles in the US involves crisscrossing borders several times. Each time there may be a new tariff involved now. So the price of an automobile is likely to increase significantly due to the tariff wars. President Trump has temporarily paused due to concerns by the expressway automobile industry in the US. He's kind of paused tariffs on automobiles for now. On March 10th, President Trump conceded that his tariffs would cause short-term tariffs, a short-term impact on the economy, negative impacts. The word recession comes to mind, a slowdown in the economy. This has sent the stock market sliding down 3 to 5% right away. Not a good sign. One might say that the stock market is not the economy. However, more than half the population in the US is in the stock market, 401k or by other means. And a recession in the broader economy is not what one would wish for or be happy about, as it usually comes with job losses and market dislocation. A certain slowdown or recession for 2 quarters, for example, might be bearable, and people might say, okay, it's a short-term pain. But if the Q2 and Q3 recession becomes prolonged, then we are in trouble. The larger issue is one of predictability. Companies don't want a situation, corporations don't want a situation where they can't predict their revenue streams down the road, where they can't provide guidance to their customer base or to the investors. A properly laid out policy in tariffs would be one where investors and corporations could plan for the changes. An ad hoc process that seems to be in operation now on, now off, now postpone, now pause, is one where no one can either predict or plan ahead for changes that might be coming, causing a lack of confidence in the economy. Even if it is good process or procedure to threaten your allies and foes and sort of gain an upper hand over them, and even if it's profitable politically, it might end up becoming less useful over time, like crying wolf too many times. So let's see how President Trump wields this power of enforcing tariffs, of bringing on new tariffs. Let's see how this trade war erupts or doesn't, or how it's controlled. It's very crucial to the US economy and to the people in the US, and that there's a worldwide audience watching to see what's going to happen next. So buckle up. It's going to be a rough ride, I think.